Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong. I'm here with my brothers Jaquari Armstrong and Damon Armstrong with special guest Donnie Brown Jr. Family, y'all. We
Yeah.
family.
Welcome.
Welcome
So
to the Twilight Zone.
yeah. So like we usually do, then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pass the mic to everybody else. Take a couple of minutes, talk about your day, and also after you're done, Donnie, because you'll be the last one. I'm gonna do some housekeeping stuff for the channel, the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Uh, let's start with you, Jaquari. How you doing today? How was your day, brother?
I'm good, man. It was a regular telework day for me, so it was as productive as a telework day should be. Uh, Uneventful, man. Everything was quiet. It's the best days for me, man.
Okay.
Good day.
Damon, what
Productive
up,
is
bro?
good.
What up, bro? How you
What's
doing,
going
Damon?
on? How
How
y'all
was your
doing today?
all right?
Doing good, cuz.
How was your day
Good.
today?
I My day was kind of laid back. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of stuff on my mind, so I calmed myself down, man, by doing a lot of research. Things that I'm interested in, and I feel full of knowledge right now, brother.
Okay. Donnie, well, what we're gonna do? Tell us about your day, and then what I want you to do is introduce yourself to our audience today and our future audiences. And tell us a little bit about yourself. So how was your day today, brother?
Man, my day was good. I ran 8 miles this morning. Pretty good time. And I did some yoga, I stretched, I did some homework, started some homework because I still gotta finish it after we done. And man, I just, ran some errands, handled some business. Just a typical day for me. Like I don't really give much downtime. Like I'm always doing something. Like even if I'm sitting down, like I'm stretching or doing something. But yeah, man, like my day was productive too.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, talk about yourself a little bit. You don't have
Yeah.
to go in
Well,
depth.
well, my name Donnie, and my mom Robin. I'm the oldest of six. The next one under me is Demarco, and under him is Demore. She got three kids. My nephew Demarion, he's the oldest out of all the nieces and nephews. And then we got Jason Nala. And then under Demore is Brandy. She got my two nieces, Kaya and Kiara. And under Brandy is Davon. And he got two more of my nieces, Cam and Kansas. And then under Davon is Dupree. And he don't got no kids yet. It's just him and his girl. He in St. Louis.
St.
Yeah.
Louis.
Okay. Uh, so pretty much where you at right now? I
Right
mean,
now, I'm in South Florida in West Palm Beach, right here on the coast. Man, it's nice. It's beautiful. Man, it's like paradise, honestly. Like, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, it's like everything I dreamed of. I like feel like this is where I was meant to be. Like definitely not Arkansas. Like Arkansas isn't for me. Like it's just not me. So like I definitely feel like I'm where I was meant to be and where I'm supposed to be right now.
okay. Now
Yeah.
elaborate on that a little bit. You said it's not where you're meant to be. What you mean?
Well, I came from Arkansas. When I was there, I was just, miserable, depressed. Like I just felt like I was stuck. Like I felt like I was just like, like Arkansas, it's like cool, because my grandma and stuff, our family lineage and stuff, is in Arkansas. But like, I'm like a city dude, like I come from Michigan and stuff. I like the city, I like the fast pace. And I feel like Arkansas was just like holding me back and slowing me down.
Okay.
So like I just felt like I had to get out of there, as quickly as possible, man, before I just got too content and too comfortable and just ended up like everybody else,
Okay.
in a small town, you know. But being here, like I just feel like it's just a feeling I can't explain. Like it's just like I was meant to be in Florida. I mean, I would have been born in Florida if my mom went from Miami to Michigan.
Yeah.
When she was pregnant with me, and because my dad and stuff, was abusive and stuff, so she had to get out of that.
Okay.
So I was born in Michigan, but I like would have been born here, obviously. So like it like comes full circle, definitely comes full circle for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Do you think you would have been the same person if you would have been born in Florida? I mean, because being born in
Nah,
Michigan,
man.
living, yeah,
If I
I
was born
guess.
in Florida, bro, ain't no telling. Like I can't even imagine what type of person I'd be. Because if I was born in Florida, like I'll also be near my Caribbean family because I'm also Bahamian. My dad is born and raised in the Bahamas, and then they like went to Florida for a better life. And that's where he met my mom and stuff like that. So
Okay.
being if I grew up in Florida, I would have been raised around the Caribbean side, so I know I'll be a totally different person.
Okay.
I'd be totally different.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
uh,
man.
you gave us a little. You gave us a little taste of what you feel your future ambitions are going to be. Why don't you share that with everybody else?
Right
As far as
now, I'm in what like my future career.
what you want to be. Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, right now I'm in school to become a lawyer. Uh, the pathway I'm taking to become a lawyer is getting my degree as a paralegal. So I'm going to two schools right now. I go to Palm Beach State uh, for my AS degree in the paralegal studies, and then I go to Seminole State. That's up north, like near Orlando.
Yeah.
I go there for my AS for my pre-law degree. So I can go to law school. So I'm going to two schools right now. I work. I got my two sons, Adonis and Donovan. Donovan was just born. You know, he wasn't playing, but he's here. And, that's my boy, and I love him just like Adonis. And
Okay.
he live in Arkansas with his mom. He's only 6 months, and I'm going to see him in November.
Okay.
So and then I'm getting married next year. My fiance Sharia.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Right.
I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. We just celebrated our 1 year anniversary last week or last weekend. We went to see Mike Epps perform live at the Improv downtown West Palm Beach, and it was nice. Mike Epps, he my favorite comedian, so
So
like that was
you
real
think
nice.
Mike Epps is funny?
He's funny to Kevin Hart, put it like that.
Oh, well,
He's
you're not saying too much, no. But yeah, look.
dang.
No,
Man,
I'm
Mike
just
Epps my
joking.
favorite comedian, man. Like after Bernie Mac passed, like Bernie Mac
Yeah.
was my favorite comedian when
Yeah.
he was still here. But like after he passed, like Mike Epps, like he became my favorite comedian. And,
Okay.
one day I do plan on dabbling in stand up comedy too. Like I didn't tell you that before.
Okay.
Because I be writing jokes and stuff here, here and there. And when I was growing up, I wanted to be a comedian.
Okay.
But like I'm obviously not going to be a comedian now, but I can still hop on stage just like I do with my stage plays and the acting. So I do
Okay.
plan on dabbling in just like a little improv, one of these days. Like I'm gonna see if they take me and see how that goes.
Well, once you do that lawyer thing and you in that courtroom, you're gonna have a lot of material to work from.
And
Exactly,
and and
exactly. I'm sure I am.
and also you gonna bring out your acting skills too. So it depending
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
what side you gonna be on, you got to be
Of
a great
course.
actor to be a lawyer, man.
I
For
know,
real.
I know. Yeah, true, true. Yeah, I'm
All right. Well,
already
look,
in.
we talked about this. See, here's the thing. And, just for full transparency to the audience, Donnie is the second youngin we had on this show. You know what I mean? We reached out to a lot of them. I can personally attest to that because this is not exclusive to any age. This is a conversation. This is what we're doing. So since you're here, Donnie, let's talk about let's get into meat and potatoes and understand. Don't be pressured in answering what you're answering, but the
Okay.
questions are gonna be asked because this is the thing, is you're gonna we feel you're gonna learn more about yourself than letting people know who you are.
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying. So the first question is because you said you have five other siblings, right?
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
do.
Here's the thing: being the oldest, being the oldest of the six, how much of an impact did that have on you as a person?
And with me being the oldest, I feel like the impact it had on me made me be a family man. Like basically made me into a man, and like just basically made me be able to
Wow.
handle
Okay.
handle like any type of adversity or pressure.
Okay.
So like I'm like definitely grateful. I'm the oldest, and I wouldn't change that for nothing. Cause like if I wasn't the oldest, I probably wouldn't even be able to handle life in general. To be honest with you, like just me being the oldest kind of prepared me just to handle life and just to be a man. You know.
Prepared in what way though? What I mean, can you be a little more specific of what you mean?
Well, just be able to just to be able to handle a lot of adversity and just not give up. You know,
Okay. Okay.
because a lot of people, they look up to me, they count on me, and things like that. So, like, I mean, just all the above, you know.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me become a kindred spirit with you because I'm the oldest of the three of us here, and I thought this would be a great question to ask you because me
Yeah,
personally, what the and I agree with you totally. The person that I became, that I am today, is because my
hmm,
parents gave me, when they were not around, they gave me the responsibility for the three of us. Not
right,
just for my brothers, but the three of us. You see what I'm saying? And
right,
I did not want, I thought so highly of my mother and father that I did not want to disappoint them. So a lot of times I took on a bigger burden, and sometimes I couldn't handle that burden. But what I did was with the three of us, right? I was like,
yeah,
look, let's circle the wagons, let's go. You know what I'm saying? We talked it out. We did, and that's the thing about it is we might be three different people,
hmm,
but our goals have always been the same. So that's why we've been able to stick together. Jaquari and
It
Phil,
always our goals always intersected, man. Uh, in like chapters. You know what I mean? If you can understand what I'm saying.
hmm.
Flu.
Um, I understand what you're saying. What I'm hearing you say is that your life is the way it is because, like he was telling you, you took on the responsibility. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you took on the responsibility, but you know what I'm saying? You had to find your way and still be responsible for your siblings also, right? Is that what you're
Right,
saying?
right,
And
yeah,
and that helped you grow into the person that you are?
yeah. And I wasn't able to completely find my way. I feel like, back when I had that responsibility, but I feel like that's what I'm doing now. And like, that's what I've been doing, like finding my way as I get older, because my siblings grown, so they good. So, and, my mom is good, so like, we all really good now. So now I'm just able to find my way. That's, I'm getting married and stuff. So I'm in school for my career, so I feel like I'm like finding my way now, because I have that, because I know like I don't have that much responsibility no more because we are older, and
Yeah.
that like kind of takes a weight off my shoulders a little bit. But they still be messing up and stuff here and there. But I get on them, and I expect them to just take what I say, and because they smart. None of my siblings are stupid, so I expect them to take what I say and just do the smart thing, because like they know what to do. But besides that, like I don't feel that pressure and responsibility. So like, I feel like I'm free to accomplish my goals, start my family, you know, move further away from them, and just, live.
So I laughed about that because you feel comfortable because they become older and grown that you can now create some space between them.
Right.
So did you stay closer so you could become still maintain being the caretaker? You
I
know?
didn't. I like didn't, but like it just happened that way sometimes, just because I'm the oldest.
Okay.
But no, like that's not why I stayed closer. Like I just stayed closer because like the state of Arkansas is just cheap and it's convenient and it'll have you content. So I
Got you.
stay longer than I should, but like that's my family. So like whatever they need, like I will be there. Um, but like now that we older, I definitely expect them to think for themselves. And like if they need me, I will be there to help them though.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
So
You know how insightful that is, man. I mean, everything you just said. You know how that's rare for a cat your age to be in tune. I mean, when you first started speaking, you spoke about being in college and having a goal and where you trying to be in your life.
Hmm.
And you spoke on your side thing that's really your heart, but your passion is in law, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but how? Let me ask you this: how do you? Is comedy, man? Because you say you write comedy, you write jokes and stuff like that. Is
Yeah.
that like therapeutic for you?
It's a therapeutic, not as therapeutic as like my other hobbies, like running, but it's like it's just more so like me trying to utilize all my talents that I got, even a little bit, even if it's not like to get paid from it, not to make a career out of it. Like I'm not trying to be in movies, but if it happens, it happens. I'm not trying to be a comedian, but if someone trying to pay me for a gig, then like I might, but like it's not really me trying to do that. Like it's just me trying to utilize all my talents
okay.
and just just like
Okay.
not let them go to waste.
All right. Well,
Hmm.
understand something. You being 31 years old and one of the younger people that because we've had some old heads on here, right? But
Yeah.
that's not on purpose. It's just a simple fact that the people that we had on here, they wanted to speak about themselves. That's what they wanted to do, and they came in. They came in for the love of us, right?
Okay.
So, not putting any pressure on you as a youngin, right? I'm gonna throw some slang at you. As a young buck, as a young
All right.
bull, as a young bull, right? Why do you think when young and old, right? Why is there contention between the old heads and the young bulls, male and
What
female?
tension you referring to?
Contention because first and foremost, right? And this is just a broad sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you may be the kind of person who goes to an older person to seek knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's been betrayed is there's a generational gap, and the older folks like they don't listen, and then the younger folks is like, you ain't got nothing to teach me. because
Right.
you're not doing what I'm doing right now. Do you agree with that view of it, or do you see it differently?
As far as that tension,
Yes.
no, I see it that way, but I just understand why it's that way deeply. Like we touched on this yesterday. It depends how young we talking, because they unfortunately just not there yet. They just not. They don't have that yet. So when they get to that age, they're gonna think about that dialogue they have with you, and they're gonna say, "Damn, like they just not there yet. Their mind not mature. They not. They just not there yet. So
So
like,
so so you being, I'm sorry to cut you off because
no,
this is the meat of it. You being 31, when you say they are not there yet, what age are you referring to?
not necessarily. Well, like basically like 20s and under, like 20s and under, like they just not there yet.
Hey, Donnie,
Like
not to be funny,
22.
not to be funny. When we was in our 20s, we ain't know shit and we wasn't listening to shit either.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, everybody. But I get that. I'm gonna tell you what I brought it up is me personally. I have always been flexible in my thinking. You know what I mean? And my brothers can chime in after I'm done. I've always been flexible in my thinking. A younger person can teach me a lot, right? But I know I got a lot to teach a younger person. But I've run into folks that feel, and this is just my own personal life. I've run into folks who feel that, well, hey man, I'm on a path that you was never on because of social media, right? But it's still a business path. And we have always thought in a business way, unless you decided you want to retire from a job and you don't care about no business, right? So
Right.
the thing about it is really just to connect this whole situation. I personally think that we are connected, but for some reason we believe we're not.
Connected in what way?
Connected in everything. Business, culture, everything. But we hear it from other people saying we're not connected, but we are.
That's true.
We
Are you
are.
speaking in terms of what the age gap?
This look, you're young and old, bro. The young and old. You know what I mean? Because you've heard it, you've run into it. You know what I mean? I believe we all have. Like I'm willing to listen to a young brother and a young sister sit down and chop it up with me, as long as they're willing to listen to what I have to say too. Because it's a mutual exchange, right, guys? I mean, do we at least agree with that? It is a
Yeah.
mutual exchange. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And we are connected. But like they just, like I said, like they just don't know that we are connected, and they don't know how connected the young and the old are. But that like stems from a lot of things. Like it could be the group of friends they're around, the product of their environment, who raised them, where they grew up. It could be a lot of things, that like factor into why they think we're not connected. And but they will get there,
No doubt.
maybe 30.
I love your optimism, brother. I'm not kidding because you said this yesterday. You pretty much in the nutshell said, give them a chance, please.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, man. Like I try to give like everybody a chance until I see that there's no chance for them.
No doubt.
The one
You
thing I
spoke about
appreciate about you, go ahead, bro.
Go ahead,
no, I'm
Jabbar.
sorry. Go ahead. Well, no, you spoke about like the difference in the generations, in terms of business and everything, man. But I think it goes deeper than that. I mean, we don't, and as a community, young and old, man, I don't see very many examples of us trying to nurture relationships anymore, man. That's what it builds. That's what everything boils down to. You
With
know,
each
I
other
mean,
or with other communities.
with
that's
each other.
true.
Other
Okay.
communities at this point, they really aren't our concern, man.
No,
Do
no,
I want them to thrive?
I'm
Yeah,
with you.
I mean,
I'm
yeah, I
with
want
you.
the world to thrive, man. But my my black neighbor's fate weighs a lot more heavier, not only on my mind, but in my fate too. It's all connected. We're all connected,
Sure.
Right.
And
That's right.
there's always been what you want to call them generational breaks, man. Generational breaks in the line of communication. That has always existed because our parents no doubt
Yeah.
sat around and had the same conversations about us. You know,
Okay.
my point is, when do we start talking to young folks about the actual transitions that they're no doubt going to start making? You know, we all have rites of passage, that we go through,
Hmm.
especially as black men. We all have family traditions that we indulge in as black families and everything.
Right.
We always depend on the older to keep those traditions and all that. We depend on older generations to carry those traditions on. But we as older generations don't really put too much stake in explaining those traditions to our younger folks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 I get it. I get it. I get it. Fluke, Fluke, what were you getting ready to say?
What I was going to say is what I appreciate about you, Donnie, man, is that, man, in answering the questions, man, I feel like the answers that you give is who you truly are. You know what I'm saying? It's who you truly are, and you're giving it. You're being as honest as possible. You spoke about being in Arkansas, and it
Hmm.
wasn't a place where you could grow, be who you are. I'm hearing that you took on responsibility as the oldest, but you also had recognition that you had growth and you needed something to inspire your life too. You talked about being married. You talked about your two sons. You talked about basically being in paradise. You know how rare that is, man, for a young brother your age, man, to be able to see that, to have that vision and be responsible also. I'm
It
saying that's
is.
maturity. Go ahead. Elaborate on that for me.
No, no, no. Yeah, no. Like I sometimes dwell on that because I know, the things that I do, and I know what type of dude I am, and I know how rare, I am. I know I like accomplish things that I didn't think I would be able to accomplish. Like even me living here in Florida, like I didn't think I'd never be here. Like it wasn't even like a realistic thing to me. Even trying to become a lawyer, like that stuff wasn't realistic to me. But like man, I just stopped doubting myself, and I just know I can do better. And it's like more out there than what I was around in in the small town that I was in Arkansas.
Of course, of course. All right. Well, look, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some housekeeping at this moment, but I'm going to give you the question so you'll have some time to marinate on it. You know what I mean, Donnie? And
Yeah.
it's a simple question. How do you view yourself? And be as honest as you could possibly be in that answer. Okay? Now, this
Okay.
is housekeeping. Listen, this is the Strong Perspective Podcast. And basically what we are, we are we are three individuals that are brothers who love conversation, meaningful conversation. And what we do when we have guests is we talk to the guest and they respond back to us, and we want the guest to be comfortable with the conversation so they can open up and learn about themselves. Not to teach others, but to learn about themselves because that's the key role. So do us a favor, go to our YouTube channel by the same name, Strong Perspective Podcast. Subscribe to it. Like the videos. We had a conversation yesterday about who our audience is, and everyone had their opinions, and they weren't wrong. But I gave my opinion, which is just my opinion. The conversations that we have is for everyone because we speak on personality, individual personalities. So personalities transcend age. It's what kind of person you are and what you think. So please go to our YouTube channel, Strong Perspective Podcast. Subscribe to it, like the videos, and we'll go from there.
Can
Donnie,
I say something
Yeah.
before you
hey,
get to the questions? Can I say something?
say it quickly because I want him. We need Donnie
Well,
to be.
you know, this is question is going to require an answer from all three of you guys. But go ahead and do what you're going to do, and I'll get to it later.
So Donnie, do you need more time, or are
No,
you ready? Are you
no, I
prepared?
don't need more time.
Because this question right here, to be perfectly honest, it could be asked now, and I'm going to ask it later. Because I'm going to tell you now, some certain questions, as you continue to have the conversation, they stay the same, but they morph into something bigger.
Right.
So, Donnie, how do you see yourself, personally see yourself?
Personally, I see myself as an overcomer, man. I'm an overcomer. And like I feel like I didn't overcame a lot, man. Like some people don't know the things I like overcame, but I definitely see myself personally as an overcomer, and I feel like it's not much that can stop me. You know, to be honest with you, like it's like nothing that I can't do. And you know, with everything that I've been through, man, like I should be dead to be honest with you, but I'm an overcomer. So like that's how I see myself personally.
Okay, okay. Hey, I respect that. As a matter of fact, I admire that answer also because honestly, it looks as though you've thought about it before. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, let's move on just a little bit because I mean, unless you have something else,
No, 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 man.
okay. Because I understand it's a touchy situation for you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
already
yeah.
know
Like it is kind of heavy, you know.
that.
Like like I don't like trauma. You know, like I try to stay away from like
Yeah, no
traumatic,
doubt.
triggering things and stuff like that. But I'm definitely an overcomer, man. And like my whole family, like we all some overcomers, man.
No doubt. No doubt. And look,
You know what's amazing to me? What's amazing to me is how you are expressing things right now. There's this part of you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. There's this part of you that knows and understands responsibility and who you trying to be, and then in the same breath you're talking about I should have been dead by now and all these things. Your maturation process, man, is what I mean. You have a vision of that whole process that you went through and you overcame it, and that's admirable, man. That's admirable, and it's like, wow, you know what? If you'd have been talking about this or that or whatever that didn't coincide with who you are and your experience, you know what I'm saying, then it was all for naught. It was, you know what I'm saying? But you're
Yes,
speaking in terms of this is who I am, this is what I went through, and this is where I'm trying to go. And
right.
no matter how much adversity come into your life, you have the groundwork to overcome it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why you said I should have been dead by now.
Yes,
But you understand how to navigate life. And from a 34 from a 31-year-old man, that's very impressive, man. That's very impressive.
and I
You
do
know,
want
and
to tell
I
you
just
how I. Sorry, cuz. Go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, no,
I
no,
want
no.
to
I'm
tell
trying to
you.
hear you.
I wanted to tell y'all how I got to Florida because I mean, like, it is a crazy story. Like I told you, like my mom moved from Florida to Michigan, right? And
Hmm.
So like I never grew up with my dad with my dad's side of the family, and I never knew who they were. So I actually found my dad's side of the family on Ancestry.com. But I like searched for them for years, and I like never was able to find them. And like just a couple years ago, recently, I found my dad's obituary because my dad passed. I found
Oh
his
man.
obituary online through Ancestry.com through a free trial. Because they got access to all the government documents. You know how they probably got contract. So I
So it was meant to.
huh?
No,
I
no,
said so
let
it
him
was meant to be.
let him
Yeah,
finish.
and I was able to I was able to find my dad's death certificate. I ordered it. It came in the mail. It like had his like last known address, all that stuff on there. And I sent a letter. I sent a letter to that address, saying like, hey, this is Donnie Brown Jr. I'm looking for my dad's family, this and that. And I mailed it to that last known address,
Yeah.
and with my phone number on there. Then like a week later, I got a call from my auntie here my dad's sister down in Miami. She had called me, and like the rest is history. So the way I came to Florida is probably like the biggest thing that ever happened to me because like my mom, like she was on like on drugs and stuff like that. So I lost contact with a lot of people, you know. And
Yes.
like I ain't, like she didn't know where my dad's side of the family was and stuff like that. So when I was growing up, I was always, thinking about what my dad looked like and stuff like that. And I was always wondering, where my dad's side of the family was at. So when my son was born, like that's another reason why like I didn't name him Donnie the Third because at the time he was born, like I still haven't found him yet. So like I didn't feel that connected to my dad's side of the family. So like I didn't feel that, like why would I name him Donnie the Third? Like I don't even know, where the hell my family at. So yeah, like fast forward, like my auntie called me and said, "Hey, this your auntie. I got your letter." So the address that was on my dad's death certificate was my auntie's old address. He had put his sister's address down, to
Okay.
get mail or whatever. And her husband still lives there, and
Okay.
he passed on the letter to my auntie, and she called me. So that's how it
Hmm.
all happened. So and I just reconnected with my family uh, a year ago, like a year, like this all happened pretty frequently. Like this isn't like a long time ago. Like this all happened frequently, and it happened pretty fast.
Okay. Um.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt the flow or anything, but
Yeah, no,
Donnie,
you good.
you if you pull up the comments, you remember that Facebook user we told you about?
Yeah.
Yeah, they on there.
They on.
Oh, my mom. Yeah.
Yeah, your mom. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, Shannon Collins, man, Creative Cuts, Barbershop. What's up, brother? Frequent
what's
listener.
going on?
But yo, hey Robin, what's going on, baby? How you doing? We
What's
got
up?
your look, we
What's going
got your
on, Auntie?
baby
Love you,
boy on here.
love you, Auntie.
Love you, love you. All right, well look, since we went down that path, and it's interesting, man, because here's the thing. Um, how was it reconnecting with your family? Because your mom pretty much had to, and there's no disrespect on anybody, but your mom pretty much had to leave Florida because of what happened to her from your dad. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Right.
So reconnecting with your family now, how is that for you?
So when the first I mean, like now, like everything is perfect, like I love them, like everything
Okay.
is good. Like when I first reconnected, I met my older sister because my dad got three kids. I'm the youngest of three on my dad's side.
Oh,
Okay.
So I'm the oldest of six on my mom's side and the youngest of three on my dad's. So my older sister, she got diabetes pretty bad. And
Oh,
when I found that out, like I kind of felt like I like needed to help her. I kind of felt obligated to help her but she had lost her leg as well. Like when I first found them, like this is during like COVID, like the beginning
Okay.
of COVID. Yeah, matter of
Okay.
fact, the beginning of COVID. So she actually lost her leg, and because she needs another kidney. And like I'm a strong, healthy dude, and I like really I originally moved here to donate my kidney to my sister,
Wow.
my oldest sister, and just be closer to my family, my dad's
Yeah.
side of the family, because I grew up obviously with y'all and my mom's side of the family, and I just found them, so like I needed to be closer to them, and I wanted to do that for her. um but so like I was still living in Arkansas, and like I was a little overweight at the time, and I couldn't even don't like I wasn't like eligible, like I didn't meet the requirements to be a
Okay.
kidney donor. And so like I had to lose weight and everything, but like I like lost the weight and got right. And but when I moved here, like she got some things wrong, so like she not really strong enough to have like a procedure like that done. And
Okay.
so like it's like things that she needs to do on her end, but whenever she does like get there, like I still plan on doing that.
Have you found
Never
out
were
whether
you.
you're not, whether or not you were a match or not?
Are you
Yeah,
a
I
man?
mean, well, like I'm a, blood type O, so like I'm a universal donor.
Wow.
Well, my blood type is universal. Like I'm a
Okay.
O negative. So like I got my blood work and all that done. Like I'm good. Like I met the requirements to be a donor. Like I'm on the National Kidney Donor Registry already. But like it's just like like she got to get like her body strong enough. Like her heart. And like
That's
things like that.
understandable. That's understandable.
But yeah, I got two sisters. I forgot to mention them. My bad. Yeah, my two
No, no,
sisters.
bro. It's time to mention them now. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, my two sisters on my dad's side. One lives in Memphis. When I lived in Arkansas, she was also in Memphis, and I didn't know how close she was all the years I lived in Arkansas. So Memphis is about 2 hour drive from Arkansas,
Okay.
to put it simply. So she was there the whole time, but I finally met her as well. Her name Donnell, and my sister here in Florida, that's the oldest one, the one who needs the kidney. She's in Boynton Beach. That's like 25 minutes from me. So when I moved here, I also based what part of Florida I was gonna move to, where my older sister was at. So like
Exactly.
I'm not too far from her at all. Like I could drive over there and stuff, and
Exactly.
so like I'm not too far from her. She's still in Palm Beach, and I like moved here, man. So like the move wasn't that pleasant, but like I like overcame a lot even with that, because it's not easy moving from Arkansas to a fast place, expensive place like South Florida near Miami, So I had to adjust a lot for that, and it was pretty tough for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, like it was tough, but now I'm good, and I'm just happy, and I'm just grateful.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, look. Let me just say this to you. You know, um, and I mean this. I've always done this because I had a great example from my parents. You need help, at least call me.
I know,
Now,
man. I
now hold
know.
on, hold on, hold on. Let me explain something. This is what I'm talking about. You exhibit great strength because you are willing to do this for your sister that you just met. You understand what I'm saying to you? So my thing is, even if somebody can't help you, ask anyway. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying to you? Because what
Yeah.
it what it
Yeah, that makes
does,
sense.
what it does, to be honest with you, what it does for you, brother, is this: you open up. You admit I can't handle all of this. You understand what I'm saying? Even if that person can't do anything for you, at least you
Yeah.
found enough in that human being to say, "Hey, can you help me?"
Yeah.
Because what it does is it helps you to overcome. And I'm
Yeah.
speaking from experience, brother. Believe me. You know what I'm saying? Because I done put myself in some foolish situations that I had to overcome. All I had to do is
Yeah.
just pick up the phone. You feel me? That's
Yeah.
it. But look, before we go a little further, cousin Tony, love you, baby. Just want to acknowledge you. We see you. You watching us. You know, Tony Warford, maiden name Chauncey. Love you, baby. Um, but
Because
to move on, I said earlier that because you're one of our younger guests, and it's rare for us because it's rare for us to have women, our sisters on here, and younger folks, right? So I definitely want to pick your brains about stuff. I don't want you to solve the problem between the age gap because, to be honest with you, that ain't your place, that ain't my place. But the question that I ask is, what does Donnie think?
Right.
Because what with the three of us, what we're trying to do is get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
Because yesterday was the first lengthy conversation that we had with you, and you watched us argue. But
Yeah.
before we started to argue, what did I say to you? The three of us are used to expressing ourselves.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm talking about within our little tight group, right? But the world, we can express ourselves to the world. You see what I mean? So yesterday you saw a little example of that. So
Mm-hmm.
in a long-winded way, let me just say this to you. When it comes down to it, uh, because it's not really fair to ask you what's your opinion about the age gap, because you are a giver by nature, a problem solver by nature. I can just pick that up just by
That's true. Yeah.
you
Yeah,
understand what I'm
but
saying?
you know what? Yeah, like I'm sure that you can pick that up
Yeah,
because,
yeah,
like,
but
you are too.
this is my point though.
Yeah.
If you let's do it anyway. If you could if you had the ear of the older folks like us, if you
Uh-huh.
had our ear and we would
That's a good
listen
question.
to you, what would you give us to connect what you think? If you think it's a gap, what do you think you could give us? What information you can give us to connect the gap?
That's a great question, man.
As a younger person to an older person.
Yeah, because you're 31. No,
Uh-huh.
but I ain't been 31 in 20 something years, my guy. You know what
To
I'm saying?
connect. Yeah, yeah. So you try to connect the gap between the older and the younger.
If you had that responsibility, if you was the alpha that everybody listened to, old heads listen to, is there anything you can give them? I'm not talking about, it could be financial, it could be anything. It could be laugh more, it could
Yeah.
be whatever you want it to be. What do you have to give?
I would no, like I would say a big thing that would connect a younger generation to the older generation uh would be financial. Like teach them how to make more money, teach them how to make some money, something like that. Like that's like the younger generation, like they love money, like they're very materialistic
That's real.
and things
That's
like
real.
that. So
We
if you
look,
want
we
to
made
connect
y'all
that,
like that though, Donnie. We
yeah.
created that. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, like, if you want to connect it, like, that's that's where you're gonna have to dive, like, teach them how to, build their credit up, stuff like that, like, that's something that'd be useful for them, and they'll probably want to, know something like that.
Okay, okay. I like that, man.
But
Yeah,
you know, life happens, man. Financially, man, you're gonna get into some stuff, you know what I'm saying, that might
yeah,
seem overwhelming or whatever. But once you get through it, you know that's your process. That's your maturation
ex-
process. That's just your
exactly,
life. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
That's his life. You gotta
That's
get
just
to the
your life.
hard part to get to the good stuff.
But if you would
Okay.
allow me, man, if you was to allow me, because I see a connection right now on this screen right now. You said you write jokes. You basically like to entertain. Do you know your older cousin Jacory, man? That was his field of study.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
talented, very talented brother. I want to hear you both you guys, man. Vibe and connect with that because he is a very. I mean, the things that he's accomplished in his life. And Jacory, correct me if I'm wrong. The things that you accomplished in your life is very responsible. But I think you spoke on it last night. You wish you would have went into that entertainment field. I'm saying so. If you guys could connect on that level, man, and elaborate on that, Jacory, give him some advice if you can, or at least speak on your experience in terms of what you went through and where you at right now in your life. Am I making sense?
Yeah, but I mean, as far as advice, man, I mean, Donnie, his experience is surpassed mine, man. I can't, you know, with the YouTube thing, and you still, you still being active, in those art forms and everything, man. I haven't done anything since I graduated from college. You know, when I was in college, and studying theater or whatever, man, it was it was an expression of a deep dream that I did have, man, and a dream that I still do have, and at this point, I really don't have any excuses as to why I didn't pursue it after I graduated, because that was my whole thing, like
Yeah.
when I thought about my favorite actors, Denzel Washington, uh, what's the other one, the bald head one?
Wow. Sammy, I don't know
Yeah,
Sammy.
my favorite
You
actors.
agree?
But no, no,
I
no,
would,
no, no. When I thought about when I thought about my favorite black actors or whatever, the one thing that they had in common was that they
Samuel
were all
Jackson.
theater. They all learned
James
the
Earl
craft.
Jones.
No, well, yeah,
You
James
talking
Earl
about Luke?
Jones, yeah.
You
I'm,
said
I'm
that
fucking
they are what? They have what in common?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, the one thing that they all had in common was is the fact that they learned the craft of acting in theater. You do have a certain section of movie stars or people who are active in Hollywood who just go to an audition and they just get on from there. But
Yeah,
Denzel and Samuel, they actually spent time on stage honing their craft. So for
right.
me, that was just a natural progression. And from the first time I stepped on stage, man, I could understand why. And
Yeah,
during my my inner monologue fantasy sessions, man, I could see a path there, you know. But at some point, man, I got wrapped up in just the desire to just graduate, man, and move on to the next stage of my life, you know. And foolishly, I say foolishly, because I felt like I could have been there, but I chose to get a job and become a regular citizen. I mean, but as far as
understandable.
advice, yeah. But as far as advice, man, my advice is is just keep exercising, keep exercising that, man. Keep pursuing those outlets. I
Of
mean,
course,
you
man.
have your yeah, you
Of
it,
course.
it's it,
And like it's
it
like not too late for you to do it either. A lot of older black men when they become older, like they get a lot of acting gigs and commercials and all types of things because like they got the gray hair and stuff. A lot of people look for that, especially like the distinctive mark, like the gray streak. Like so, like just don't think it's like a done deal. You graduate and
I don't
stuff
know.
because you can literally still get something if you wanted to right now. I'm like
I
pretty
mean,
sure
the
of
thing
it.
about
Like it all depends how bad you want it, but you can get it.
yeah,
Yeah,
All
you
it
got
takes is
just
one audition.
yeah, just like you, I've always. I mean, I've always written material. I'm still writing material, man. Stuff that comes from places or whatever, man. But when I really analyze, like stuff that I write, when I analyze where it comes from, the majority of it comes from a place of trauma. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and that's
What,
traumas
you not wanting
trauma,
to pursue it?
huh?
You
Wow.
not wanting to pursue it comes from a place of trauma?
No. The material that I create.
Oh, I mean,
A
yeah,
lot of
like
people.
that's where most material comes from.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not always the case. That always that doesn't necessarily have to be the case always.
right.
And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, man. I'm just, I don't think, you know, the black community is ready to hear the shit that I want to say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No,
Maybe not, man. But
no, you look
Oh,
at the exercise.
hold on, hold on for a second, brother.
In this conversation with the gap between the young and the old, right? Through
right.
this y'all have a lot of shit in common, don't y'all? You know what I'm
Now,
saying?
let me ask
To the
you
point where Donnie express, huh?
you're right. I agree with you.
So is there really truly a gap, or do people
I
have to
don't.
have? My question is, do people have to have the patience to listen to each other, especially to their elders and especially to the young people, because they both have something to share. Optimism in terms of Donnie, and experience in terms of Jaquar.
It's a
You know
good
what I'm saying?
point.
And you can bridge a gap within that and take something from it.
Yeah.
Is my point.
I see people
So
doing that like every day, like the older generation that's like hip and on technology, they are reaching out to the younger people through, what the younger people do. They on TikTok, they on Instagram and Facebook. So like I do see like, like older people relaying information and teaching younger generation through social media. So like that's one way and probably the main and only way to relay a message through a younger generation. It's not going to be, probably verbally face to face, but you can relay a message through to a younger generation through social media for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
But see,
look. Go ahead, Jaquari, and then
the
I
thing
want
is,
to make sure we get back on Donnie. But go ahead, Jaquari.
okay, I appreciate social media, man, for what it is. I understand. I believe I understand what it is, man. I use it for entertainment. But when a person starts to indulge in social media, overindulge in social media, man, it creates a disconnection between them and actual people. I mean,
It
I get
can,
it.
it can.
I mean, I've been on Zoom meetings, Zoom calls with people, man, especially since COVID and everything, uh, situations like this or whatever, man, and you know, it's a big difference between this and actually sitting in a room with a person.
It's
I
real.
mean, that is true. Like you speaking facts, but you have to remember, unfortunately, like the world is advancing and it's not going to wait for you. So that is true, but it's gonna just keep getting more advanced. Like 2029, it's gonna be even more advanced. So like what you saying, I feel like a lot of older people like need to like get that mindset out their head because it's like more so coming from like a place of like stubbornness and a little bit of laziness, I think, because
No, no,
it's
no,
like
no, not at all,
Hold
not
on.
at all.
Let him
There's a
finish,
difference.
Let
Jaquari. Jaquari,
There's
let
a
him
difference
finish. Then I'm
between.
gonna let
Wait,
you
wait,
go.
wait. Let me say this. Let me say this. There's a difference between walking on the Great Wall of China and looking at pictures of it. That's my point.
that's
That's
true.
real. That's real.
And there's a difference between walking on it and taking the pictures while you're walking on it with a selfie stick. The world is advancing.
But
People walk on it and operate a drone and could take a picture on the
Donnie,
drone. It's advancing though.
Donnie, here's the thing. You both have a valid point, but understand something. Just because technology is becoming even bigger, it don't mean because you gotta understand old heads invented the internet.
Right.
The younger folks, the younger generation, took advantage of the apps that's on internet. You understand what I'm saying to you? But
Right.
the inventors are the older generation. So there's no real like you and Jaquari just spoke about a perspective. You spoke about two different perspectives, which was right. You understand what I'm saying? But
Right.
people take shortcuts because they are. You said something. That magic word was lazy. I thought you used lazy. This is my opinion in the wrong context because you could be absolutely right when you say the old generation is being lazy with it, right? Now I want to take what you said out of context, but also the younger generation is lazy because they say, "Hey, you're not up on it." So I don't want to waste my words. I don't want to waste my actual face-to-face conversation when I can do it through my phone or do it through my laptop. Do both.
But
You
let me
feel
ask
me?
y'all this question.
What's wrong?
Let me ask
Hold
y'all
on,
this.
hold on, hold on, Fluke, hold on. What's wrong with doing both?
There's nothing wrong with doing both, but it's
What?
about convenience.
Hold
It's
on, hold on.
it's about convenience.
You're exactly. You're saying exactly what I'm saying to you. People will pick a side when they don't have to.
Right,
You
right.
feel me? That's all. There's no right. There's no wrong answer in what we're talking about right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know what
But
though?
you should
Yeah.
not pick sides. Go ahead. Go ahead. Fluke, I got you, dog. I got you. Go ahead.
No,
Go
here it
ahead.
is. Here it is, man. In that person's experience, there is right or wrong until they learn better and through experience. If you understand what I'm saying. You know, Donnie, you are exactly right. You can do drones and you can do all of those different things. You know what I'm saying? But herein lies the difference, man. Our older person would be walking on that on that wall and taking in everything based on their own personal experience. So when you going through an experience, you relating back to your own personal life. Whereas a younger person be like, hey man, this is wonderful. I don't know on the wall of China. You know what I'm saying? Whereas older person be like, you know how many lives it costs to build this joint?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You see the difference in the mindset and the thinking, and that comes from living life.
That comes from
Good,
wisdom. Yeah, that
good
comes from
point.
living
Right.
life and
Good point.
gaining that
Good point.
wisdom.
Good point.
Right. So I get back to my original point, wherein we get lost, and I'm speaking in terms of black people. Where we get lost is that a younger black, and you could correct me, young brother, if I'm wrong. A young black person say, man, look at all these things that we have to our advantage. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't the older generation take advantage of it?
Because it wasn't there, man.
No, it was there,
No,
but it was there in our experience. You
it
understand what I'm
was.
saying? Keith, you gotta
Listen,
remember, man.
it was
You gotta,
there. It was
you gotta
there
remember,
incognito. It was hidden. Is
right.
what
But
it was.
Keith, are you a college graduate?
What does that have to do with anything?
What that has to do with is that were you the first to actually graduate? I'm not talking about
Yeah.
people taking classes and going to school, but I'm talking
Oh,
about in terms of
yeah.
graduating.
Of course, yes.
Right, right. Where when you went through that experience, did you have any reference, man, to draw from? Or
No,
did you
but
have to actually go through the process, the maturation process yourself?
had to go through it. Had to go through it.
Right. And that's what the younger generation is not understanding. You know what I'm saying? We as older people can actually make it easier for you as a young person. But if you can't get past, damn, why ain't y'all taking the one thing you need to understand, there are more black people that are successful in this country than you actually realize because what we are being shown or whatever is the exact opposite. You know what I'm saying? If you look at and this is my last point, if you look at our family in particular, on your mother's side, if you look at it, you could count out the small percentage of the people who are not educated, who don't have some type of college education or job skill or whatever. Our family is very educated. You understand what I'm saying? And you could go through and look at each individual. They are very young and old, very educated. But here's the thing, and me and Keith can speak on this. In the beginning, we didn't have any reference point. We had to figure that shit out. Excuse my language. We had to figure that out along the way. And through our experience, the rest of the family that was looking at us did not know or understand what we were going through. But we went through it. You know what I'm saying? And then the mothers, the aunties, and the fathers, and whatever could point to me and Keith and say, see what they're doing? We expect y'all to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And then when those young people came and communicated with us, they could talk just exactly like you talking right now. But guess what they didn't understand or recognize? That personal thing that we had to overcome. You know what I'm saying? That we had to overcome to make sure that we kept the course. To make sure that we kept the course. And that's personal. But when you ask me and Keith, being in the position that we were in growing up and being this type of influence in our family, they do not understand what we went through to accomplish those goals. Just like I, as an older person, don't understand how you went from being what you went through, saying what you said, I didn't think I was going to be alive today, to where you at right now, paralegal, on your way to be a lawyer.
Hope.
That's what we have in common.
Hope.
What you overcame.
Hope.
And in the process of that, you come to Jacory. That's why I asked you the question and pointed out the fact that your older cousin is that guy, very talented dude, man. But he took on the responsibility of taking care of his family. And guess what? His family is very successful. But still deep down in his heart, he still has that vision of, you know what, I want to entertain. I want to reach my goal. I want to, this is what my passion is. So as a young person with your older cousin Jacory, there's a connection there. He might be able to tell you, hey man, whatever it just, it's not up to me because I don't know what y'all experience is or what y'all passion and desire is in terms of entertaining. I don't know what it is. But y'all can talk to each other and he could tell you something and you could tell him something and y'all can come to a conclusion that there is a connection.
Luke, go ahead and close.
And there's
man,
no.
I want to get back to Don. But go ahead.
I'm good to make that point because I think that's very pivotal and it's very important.
Okay.
I just wanted to emphasize that if it makes any sense to you.
Great point, man. See, Donnie, what it is your life. The course of your life is a beautiful thing that we recognize because that's all we're saying. So anything that we offer to you is giving you not to veer you off your path, but to see other angles as you walk your truth. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because you go from not expecting to live to where you at right now. That's a hell of a story, man.
It's a hell of a story, but here's the thing.
Man, like I used to go to therapy and stuff like that, man. Like it wasn't easy, man. Like I had a therapist, like I went to therapist, like I was using my insurance, like I was using my insurance. Like I had a therapist I see every week.
You paid for
I got better eventually,
Yeah.
You know how profound that is to be able to at least admit that much, man?
Yeah.
That's profound.
Listen, and here's the thing. Damon is exactly right about that. But the one thing what I want to do is I had some housekeeping because my brothers will tell you when we have good folks in the comments having some great things to say, I acknowledge it. You Feel me? So I want to acknowledge my aunt Jeannie. Love you dearly. Marsha Curtis, Keith Barnes' people.
Oh, I
Thank you
stand
for
to
What up?
listening. You know, and basically Malika. I like
Yeah.
reading the comments. So I've been sipping a little bit, so I'm not gonna trip over this. So I'm ready to do it because I got criticized the other day. What is you talking about, man? Why is you reading like that? Because I was drinking. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Look, Malika says the starting points are different. The younger generations get to start from a point learned experience. From the older generation, therefore, they don't have the same bias of fatigue. Fatigue is a key word to that. You know what I'm saying?
I want to
Because
touch on that though.
huh?
I want to
Okay.
touch on that because,
Okay,
like,
okay, well, hold. Let me finish because, like I
yeah,
said, I
yeah, yeah,
love
yeah.
doing the housekeeping because people are giving us great things. And then the second thing she said is that's like a sprinter waiting for a mile runner to reach the 1 meter point and think they should be able to keep up with them in a full sprint. You know, and she said, "Huh?"
Hmm.
Question mark. They just ran a distance you didn't have to run. And makes a lot of sense. So basically, what Malika, what I take from Malika is this: our generation in raising you guys cut out what we had to go through and started you from this point. Not taking credit, but this is what she sees. Okay, now Donnie, you said you wanted to touch on that. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, well, yeah, the starting points are different. Um, but just like me with 31, like I run 8 miles, I do yoga. So the starting points are different. Therefore, like the younger generation don't have that same like fatigue and things, but the older generation don't have to have that same fatigue if they did what they're supposed to do as well and kept up with things and take care of themselves better and ate better, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, yeah, the starting points are different, but the older generation stops at a certain point, and really in life you're not supposed to stop. Like there is no stopping points. It's like the older generation stop, and then the younger generation pick up where they left off at, and it's not supposed to work. So maybe that's where that gap comes from, because the older generation is stopping because they tired, or they feel like they live their life and they got all the keys and the knowledge, and the younger generation picks up. Like that's the gap that you was wondering about. That's where it is right there.
I'm wavering, Donnie, but I respect what you said. To be honest with you, I do.
Because if you don't keep up with it, you gonna get left behind. That's the gap. Like
But that's the point, though. Here's the point. If we're trying to live or compete in your arena right now, it makes a lot of sense. But what we do is we had to maintain. This is me personally. Maintain for you. You feel what I'm saying? Your generation. We had to maintain for generation. So this is where I get caught up on. And guys, please chime in on this. I get caught up on this. We raised you, right? So of course we'll take it personal if you look at us after raising you and keeping you good. And I'm speaking in just a general sense. This is nothing specific. But we keeping you Gucci, right? Then you say to me, hey, you ain't got nothing to say to me because you don't know, you can't relate to me. And I want you guys, if you understand what I'm talking about, to respond to that. Do
Yeah,
you
I
guys
understand.
understand what I mean?
I understand it, man. I understand it, man. But the disconnect is not, you know, well, the concern for me is not the disconnect, between the generations. That's always going to be there because it's always been there.
Always,
That's
always. It is what
it's,
it
you
is.
know, that's, and it's not just it's not just our community, man. It's everybody. So that's
True.
that's a human issue. That's a human issue. My point, man, is like I said before, man. The older people helping the young people to understand the evolutions of life, man. The transitions of position. You know, you have that mindset today, Donnie. I get it and I understand it, but you know what? Much as you try to stay up with things, man, as savvy as you are, as tech savvy as you are, it's not always going to be the case, man. It's not always going to be the case because at one point we had the same exact mindset as you had. Life and
I know.
experience changed that.
I know. I
Life,
know.
yeah, life and experience changed that, man. So you know,
That's true. Yeah.
having an open mind, and us as being tech savvy and know how to move on a on a worldwide scale, man, is once again it's the evolution of our people. It's the evolution of our people. It doesn't necessarily mean that what we have to tell you guys ain't valuable, but on the same on the same hand, you have very valuable things to tell us. The
Right.
exchange of
Exactly.
information is the most important thing, man, and there's got to be a respectful
Exactly.
space to do that. I've
You
heard young
beautifully
people say,
said.
like my brother said, like my brother Keith said, well, young people say, what y'all gonna tell us? The world is it's totally different than it was 20 years ago, and we have, we rest in the same mindset. You know, Respectful places for exchange of ideas and discussions need to be maintained, man. They do.
They do. They do. There's too many shortcuts. Damon, you have something to say?
The only point I'm gonna make is this, man. The one thing that I refuse to be, man, in my life, you know what I'm saying, and this is not, you know, anybody else. It's just how I think. And dealing with my kids that I raise, they could come to me with a problem, and I can have an understanding about what they said because might have went through something similar, and I started talking about me. Well, this is what I did. Hey, son, I understand what you was going through because I went through the same thing. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that because that's preaching. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, man, that's
That's
all relative,
preaching.
man. Sorry to do that, though. But, bruh, you think it's preaching. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's what they think. They think that it's preaching. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
When you dealing with somebody in your life that you love and you want to see them do well, the only thing that your only reference point is your own experience. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
And
That's right.
in the time that you're speaking to this person and you want to reach them, the last thing they want to hear is about what you went through. Because what matters to them is what they went through. So in that understanding, they say, well, damn, how come things haven't changed, man? You give me all this good information, but things are still the same. Everybody that's walking this earth, man, have their own maturation process, man, their own experience, and they take it in and internalize it differently. The only thing that matters is you say, you know what? I respect you, I love you, and I understand where you're coming from. You might feel like I failed you in a certain way, but you have to understand something. There's no failure there. What it is that we understand what life is. I'm speaking right now specifically as a black man. We understand what life is through our experience and how we overcome it. That is what matters. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to a person and say, hey man, just do it this way and you'll be all right. No, you go with suggestions. It's like our father raised us. Hey, dude, I raised you, man. Come up with an answer. Do what works for you. And that's what life is. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to sit back and preach what that is. Because if a person wants to get where you at and beyond, they paying attention. You understand what I'm saying? And then And then that's when relationships, that's when that gap closes, and that person say, "Damn, you know what, man? I get in college, and I'm not successful at it. What did you do? You saying my experience, nobody helped me. I had to do the groundwork. I had to grind. I had to make it happen. That's my plight. That's my experience, not yours. You know what I'm saying people, people. If you came up in the family and and your family received food stamps, that's 2 years free. I didn't get that. I had to grind. I didn't get financial aid like everybody else did. I had to find my way. That's my experience. But and the final analysis is get there first. You know what I'm saying? And when you hit a bump in the road that's beyond you, or whatever, you call me and you say, hey man, what did you do to get over this and get what you want? But this was my experience, man. But you tell me, man, what you looking at? What you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? And then when you finally get it done, I can go back to you and say, damn, bro, good job.
Okay.
You figured out how to win this life.
Okay. All right. Look. Let's get back to Donnie, man, because we get ready to close this up real soon. Because, like I said, you've given us a lot about you, brother, and that's always that was the whole point of this goal. That was the goal of this whole episode. Because what
let me say this. What he given is damn wow. Okay, brother, let me hear a little bit more, man. Okay, you did that?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. The goal is for everyone, for you today, and everyone who preceded you, is to be able to go back go to our channel, into our episodes, and look at how you responded. We talked about this yesterday. You feel me? This is about you.
Yeah.
More than anything. So look, you said that you repeated it a couple times, and I'm gonna give you the opportunity to finish this strong, and then we're gonna go into gaming segment. You know, we're gonna have some last words, then we're gonna go into gaming segment. But thank you, Donnie, for coming on here because you did a great, masterful job, my brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
You expressed who you are, and that was the whole goal. Okay, now you talked about being a lawyer. I need you to just expound in it. What made you come to that point that that's what you wanted to be?
Give me one moment. Let me get my hold on, my MacBook's in the down. Let me get my charger.
Okay. That's why I love this live, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? Because we have some impromptu shit going on. No, but it is what it is, brother. That's how we do.
So you wanted to know how I came to want to be a lawyer, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So like at first I wanted to be a cop. So I went to school for criminal justice. So I currently do have an associate's degree in criminal justice.
Okay.
So yeah, like I forgot to mention that. Like I do have that. Like I forget, like I forget, like I even got that sometimes. But at first I wanted to be a cop, but I want to become a cop just just being myself with my my hair and my beard and stuff, and it really wasn't really messing with me. So like like I went through the whole process to become a cop, but I didn't make it to the academy. So I tried to become a correctional officer at a prison, because this was like after I got my degree, like I was trying to get in the criminal justice field, obviously like I wanted to do that. So the police stuff, they wanted to like change who I am. It's Arkansas, it's a small town. And the correctional officer, like they wasn't gonna let me become a CO because I wouldn't shave my beard. And I told him that it's against my religious beliefs and can I get a religious accommodation? But they wasn't trying to hear that. They didn't care. So that's when I went to the ACLU so I could sue the Department of Corrections. Uh, because I felt like they was discriminating against my religious beliefs,
No doubt.
and so
Hold on for 1 second, Donnie.
yeah.
Tell us what your religion is, brother.
Well, I study Islam. Like I haven't studied it as heavy as I used to, but like I believe in like the teachings of Islam. Uh,
Sunni. Sunni?
no, the Nation of Islam,
Yes.
and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, and this is back when I was going to the mosque and stuff like that, and
Gotcha.
like I just love my beard and I just love my look, and I just love my Quran. I just like I just wanted to be me, and this is when I was heavy into pro black, things like that. Like this is when I was
Right.
heavy into that stuff. So,
Exactly.
but I like think they can sense that, because like during the home interview, the process is the home interview, and they came to my house and they could see like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. They see the red, black, and green flag. So like I like think they seen that, and obviously that's not a good look. But I just didn't want to change who I am to become a cop. So with the CO I feel like was being super unreasonable because the reason they wouldn't let me do it was because in case of an emergency, if the prison burned down, you had to put on like a face mask, so that you can breathe through. And they said my beard is too big; it wouldn't be able to fit. And it was like it is now. But like I just feel like they just wanted me to cut my beard and conform to that, military look, and I wasn't with that. So that's when I went to the ACLU and I sued them for religious discrimination. Um, and they they wouldn't let me be a CO, but they did have to give me any job I wanted within the Department of Corrections that didn't require me to shave my beard. But they wouldn't move on the beard. But at that point, I just declined and let it go because I feel like they'll be targeting me. You know how Arkansas is. If I did take a job, like I just feel like I'd be targeted, harassed because of how I went to the ACLU and got them in trouble. And I just, how people kind of,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Of
they
course,
they
of
like
course.
hold that against you. So I was like, nah, like I just passed. So that's when I took a different route and started CNA stuff. I was gonna be a nurse. This is in Arkansas. Uh, so I was doing the CNA stuff, and like I could feel that it just wasn't for me. I like love helping people, and I love a rewarding job, because it feels good, helping like the older people, who can't help themselves, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So during, like after the COVID stuff happened, I like lost the CNA job, because old people are more susceptible to the COVID, so that shut down quick, and that's when I was like in the middle of finding my family and stuff. So like everything happened kind of crazy, like So after the CNA stuff didn't work out, I just when I moved here, I decided I wanted to pursue my law career because I want to be a lawyer here in Florida. And when I was trying to become a cop, I also realized I also wanted to be a lawyer, but I just didn't know it because I just felt like I wasn't smart enough to be a lawyer at that time. So I like limited myself to just want to become a cop because in my eyes, being a cop is more feasible. Some people have to go to college, but being a cop is pretty simple, I would say. So I just felt like I can do that and I couldn't become a lawyer. But as I got older, I realized how smart I am, and I know a lot of I like know a lot of information, and I know a lot of stuff, and I just know I'm capable of being a lawyer, basically, and I know I'm smart enough to be a lawyer, and I'm smart as any other lawyer out there.
Yeah,
So that's when I feel like I just decided to go back to school and just go for it, and I'm not gonna stop until I'm a lawyer, basically, and
no doubt, no doubt.
like so like that's how that happened, and but I've always wanted to be a lawyer. Like the cop stuff, I think was just I was just doubting myself. Like I don't know.
Hey, look, hey Donnie, great, great freaking answer. But let me tell you something, my guy. It is very simple to go into law enforcement. Yes, it is. You want to know why? Because
Yeah.
if you have a great sense of responsibility, and you can, if you can retain the different codes and laws of
Right.
conduct, it's simple, right?
Right. Right.
My brother, you don't have to be smart to be a lawyer. You
I
have to
know
be
that.
the same. You got to be the same way. No, no, no. I'm taking this personal, God damn it. I'm
I
taking it personal
know.
because I
I
was
didn't mean
trying
no
to call. Look,
disrespect.
look.
I
Hey,
didn't mean
Johnny,
no
I was.
disrespect.
No, no, no,
But
no.
you know the work
Hold
it
on, hold on,
takes.
hold on, hold on. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
But let me just say this: you will do very well if you have a great memory when it comes to being a lawyer. That's the key.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that now. And also having a great personality. Because if they like you and you have enough, like, hey, let me throw some doubt up in your head. And look, lawyers out there, I'm not minimizing your shit. It ain't got nothing to do with it. But I look at shit logically. I think you would be a great lawyer.
I appreciate that because
Yeah, but
I'm a
look,
definitely be I'm a definitely I'm not gonna stop until I get there,
look,
and I know I'm gonna get there because
hey, look,
everything I say I do honestly. Like I'm not even
hey,
gonna lie to
but
y'all, man.
Donnie, the funny shit is my ego, like, yo, hold on, man. Hold on. We ain't no dumb motherfuckers in law enforcement. But honestly, I saw every bit of your point. That's real. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I'm rooting for you. And if anything, I know I can speak for the three of us. If there's anything that you need us for, let us know.
I appreciate that, man.
That,
Like I be trying to, do it all on my own, because I be feeling like I feel like if I could do it on my own, even if it's hard and even if I need help, I feel like I could overcome anything. Basically, like I'm just basically
that's a
getting
good way to
stronger.
think
Like I'm
about it.
just basically making myself stronger. Like that's how I feel.
That's
Like
right.
I can handle it. Like I'm not gonna die if like. But yeah, like I don't mind, asking family for help. But like that's just like an absolute last resort.
But
Like
but look, but look, let me just say this.
That's because you're a
If
man.
it was never there, not because it wasn't presented to you, it's just you were not privy to it because you didn't know. That's understandable. So when I said something today, is giving you the invitation.
okay,
You feel what I'm saying? Now,
yeah,
oh man, hey man, what's wrong? Why ain't you ask? No, hell no. This is an invitation to you that you have brothers who willing to at least listen to you. You feel me? That's it.
hmm
Now, I told you, look, Donnie, you asked us earlier. Well, how long is this gonna be? It's
Oh
been an hour.
no,
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 no.
like
It's
I
been
wasn't trying to rush
no,
you
no,
through
no.
it.
Hold on. I get it. Listen to what I'm saying to you. We own it like that, bro. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Because here's the thing: it's an hour and a half. You see how quickly that hour and a half went?
yeah,
Because we've been chopping it up, right?
yeah.
But what I'm going to do, you're going to have the last word. But Damon, our resident last word man, we got to give him his time.
All
And then
right.
after he's done, we're going to make sure that Jaquari, yourself, and Damon take us on out of here. All right? So, Damon, speak on it, Strong.
Here's the thing I would say, man. We as human beings, man, we think that whatever we is going through, man, is the beginning and end all to everything, and what we thinking and what we feeling matters. You know what I'm saying? So we struggle and we fight the fight, and we feel like our opinion makes a difference and our opinion matters. But this is where I think personally where people miss the boat, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. What people miss the boat at is that everything that you experience in your life that you fight for and you go through is your own personal thing. It's your own personal experience. And seeing life through your own lens, in a humble way, that's what really makes the difference. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can tell you who you are, what you believe, and what you think. Nobody can tell you that because nobody went through the experience. Even though they can identify with the experience, you just internalize it differently. You know what I'm saying? So on the other side of that, you trying to be the human being that you're trying to be does not, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can speak to that because that's your life and that's your experience. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And then going through that maturation process, you got to realize, man, that your experience really matters. Nobody can dismiss that because that's yours. You own that. That's yours. And that's your lineage. That's your legacy. That's what you pass down. Hey, son, I can't tell you what to do, but make sure that you're being in tune to your personal feelings, not out of malice, but understanding that you don't want nobody else to feel as bad as you feel in that particular moment. Your humanity is what makes a difference. That's your purpose on this earth. That's your purpose. It's not about I'm trying to get over. Everybody's trying to get over. Everybody can be a snake. Everybody can be a saint if they choose to be. It's all about making a choice, making a decision. But in making that decision, you make that decision on your own personal experience as a good human being. And that's what resonates. That's what people pay attention to. You're going to be an asshole. People are going to see you as an asshole. You know what I'm saying? But if you can look another man or woman in their eye and say, you know what, I used to be that, but I'm trying to be better. Not because you expect me to, it's because I expect myself to be better. I expect myself to be better. So if you talk about your experience and I can relate to it, and it's like, damn, young brother or young sister, if you have patience enough to give yourself a chance to work through it, you're gonna be all right. Yeah. You're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to get nobody else's approval for that. That experience, that maturation process, that's your shit. And that gives you purpose. And whoever you believe in, that makes that connection. That's the spiritual thing. Because you're not judging. The only person that you're judging is yourself. And through humility, I've made a lot of these mistakes. Even when I wasn't trying, I made mistakes and I hurt people. I had to take responsibility for that. Because no matter what the world brought to me, if I caused somebody pain, I brought that to them. You know what I'm saying? And I have to take responsibility for that act. And in that, and then take responsibility, I have control over my life.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And nobody. Huh?
I said Damon Luther King. Yeah, I understand.
I know it's saying like it's preaching, but you know what though? That's me being real. I'm not lying to you. I'm speaking from experience. Yeah, I'm not preaching experience. I'm not even talking about your experience. I'm talking about mine. Right. I'm what do they call that? This is my testimony.
Yeah.
This is not a preach. I'm not preaching to you. I'm not ministering.
Okay.
I'm speaking my testimony. You know what I'm saying? So if my voice is elevated, if I'm animated or whatever, I believe what I'm saying because I'm only speaking about myself, nobody else. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what I know in my own personal experience at finna be 57 years old. I live by my humility because living by my humility requires me to look at myself. Not what the world dictates, but But me looking at myself and the mistakes I made and
All
the
right,
chaos and love or whatever that I created, I have control over that.
all right, brother. All right, let's go because I know you can go all night. You know what I'm saying? Great, look, great fucking job though, man. For real.
Yeah.
All right, look, last words, Jaquari. Last words, bro.
Hey man, I thank you for your time, man. I appreciate your point of
For
view.
sure, Kev. I
You
appreciate
know,
you, Kev.
as before,
And I
man. You
forgot to
know,
mention, man, you the reason why I'm into superhero stuff too, man. All them comics and stuff, like that was the beginning for me. I forgot to mention, yeah, like that was the beginning right there.
hey man, you know what I forgot to mention? I forgot to mention the fact that I remember the night you was born, brother.
Really?
That's real.
Yeah,
He was there.
yep.
Man,
I,
really?
I
He was
remember the
there.
night you was born. Yep.
Wow.
I was
I didn't know that.
19, yeah, 19 years old.
Wow. That's crazy.
Hey,
Wow.
Fluke. Quick last words, my guy.
no, I pretty much, man. I got caught up on what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? As I heard my own, like you said to Donnie at the beginning of this joint, I heard my own words, man, and it stopped and it slowed down those racing thoughts, and it allowed me to see inside of myself and not what the world dictates.
What's up? What's up?
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? And I have control over that, and
Yeah.
I never deviate from that.
No doubt. Donnie, last word, brother. You got the last one
I
before I
appreciate
close
y'all
it out.
having me. I appreciate y'all having me on here, man. And it was good talking to y'all. It was good seeing y'all. You know, whenever y'all want me back on here, you know, or want my perspective, you know, I'll definitely come back. You know, just let me know, you know, shoot me a text, whatever, you know, I will hop on. But yeah,
You're
man,
welcome, bro.
just I'll see y'all again next time y'all do this.
Okay. All right. Well, look, my last word is this. You know, I told my brothers that I wanted you to come on because not knowing everything that you went through, but understanding that you went through some shit and you
Yeah.
overcame. You know what I mean? And then coming to find out you suing the federal government on some shit. It says a
Yeah.
lot about who you are. And I'm joking more than anything, but the point is your determination and who you are as a human being. Beautiful, man. The fact that you moved to Florida to help your sister out, to give her a kidney. This is highlights. Damn. You
That's some
know what I'm
that's
saying?
that's some
You
deep shit.
being there for your other 5 siblings to lean on. Damn. Being there for your mother. Damn. Understanding what you went through. That is a beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful thing, man, that you're here to speak with us today. You got me? All right, well, look.
That's hey, that's some
I
man.
appreciate
That's
that,
some
man.
All
man.
right, look. We getting off here. Hey, cousin Jeff, love you, brother. Glad you joined us. Auntie Robin, love you to death. Sister-in-law, love you to death. Malika, love you, baby. You know what I mean? I mentioned everybody else before, but hey, this is a Strong Perspective podcast, and we do good fucking work. Excuse the cursing, but this is what we do. We have great conversation, period. That's what our goal is. And guess what? One day we're gonna come, one day, and you mark my words, one day we're gonna become famous with because of our conversation. You can put that in the book, you can put that in the bank, you can put that anywhere you want to put it. All right? Brothers, love y'all. Thank y'all for coming on. Great show.
All right.
Peace.
All right, cuz. I love
Hey,
y'all.
stay
Love you,
Love
on,
brother.
you too,
Donnie.
man.
Stay on. But hey, tell
Okay.
the people goodbye.
All right, cuz. I appreciate y'all watching and listening, you know.
No doubt.
And I hope y'all got something from it, you know. Basically just don't give up. No matter how much adversity you face, don't give up. If you ain't dead, don't give up. It
That's
don't
real.
matter. Just try. It don't matter. Just try.
That's real.
It's all about life, ain't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Hey, Make sure you like and subscribe because we got something for everybody, every age, everything. Men, women, everything. All right, peace out to y'all. Love y'all.
Love you too, cuz. Peace.